This academic literacy video takes you through creating your position statement. So in the last video, which dealt with your topic, we spoke a little bit about creating a position. So you need to agree or disagree or partially agree with the topic that you've chosen. So if in an academic essay you're asked to take a position, what exactly does this mean? And what is the difference between an opinion and a position? So let's look at this in a little bit more detail. A position is a personal stance on an issue. So if we think of the fact it's going to be a personal stance, each of you is going to have a different position, and that is fine. So it's a personal stance on an issue backed up by a reasonable, logical argument and facts. So it's substantiated and carefully thought through. So what's important about a position is, although it's a personal stance, so it is a personal feeling about something, and it's different for every single one of us, it is going to be backed up by a reasonable or logical argument. And your argument is the place in your essay where you tell us why you have created or taken this position. It's also going to be backed up by facts. Facts are things that have been proven in research. So you're going to have to read widely so that you are able to substantiate what you have to say. It is also carefully thought through. A position also aims to sound objective. So this word objective is very important in tertiary studies. Objective means balanced. It means that you've looked at the issue from all angles. You are not emotional about it, and you're considering it from an academic point of view. The opposite of objective is subjective. Now, an opinion, we might say, is subjective. It is often rooted in emotion and in feeling about something, which is what makes it subjective. So what is an opinion? It is a personal stance or feeling on an issue, which is not backed up with facts or logically thought through. And it's unsubstantiated, so we can't back up what we say. We all have opinions about things every day. Maybe you have an opinion about whether it's better to shop at Checkers or Pick n Pay, and you might even have some reasons. But can you back up these reasons with proof? Can you make that into a position by backing it up, being able to substantiate it with proof, with actual facts? And that is the difference between an opinion and a position. A position is objective, we can back it up, we can prove it, it is substantiated. While an opinion is also a personal stance, but it's often a feeling, it's often emotional, it's not logically thought through, and we cannot back it up. It is subjective. So what must you include in your position statement? A position statement must clearly state how you feel on an issue, even if you're in the middle or if you're unsure. So a position statement should tell your reader in one sentence exactly what you feel about the topic. So it needs to be clear, it needs to be concise, and it needs to really in one sentence articulate exactly how you feel about the topic. The position statement must be included in a direct statement or a sentence. It must not be in agreement or disagreement with the topic. So for example, you wouldn't say, I agree with the topic, and leave that as your position statement. You always need to assume that your reader does not have access to the question. So you need to clearly, again, state what you agree with. It should also avoid using the words I think, I feel, because these words are opinion words. They have to do with feelings and emotions, not with objective positions. You should include some of the main reasons for your argument in the position statement, and we'll see how to do that shortly. It should come across as moderate and reasonable. So a position, because it's been well thought through and carefully thought through, generally tends to be very reasonable and moderate. It's not going to be something that is very emotional or very adamant on an issue. Let's look at some examples of some position statements from a past ACL essay on corporal punishment. The first one reads, corporal punishment, when legislated and controlled, has a place in school because without it, teachers are unable to maintain discipline in large classes. So this position agrees that corporal punishment should be allowed. It doesn't say anywhere, I agree. Rather, it states it in a sentence. And this essay is going to now argue that corporal punishment is important because without it, you're unable to maintain discipline. So in the blue box, we said it should include the main reasons for your argument. And in this case, the main reason is that teachers are unable to maintain discipline in large classes. Now, the essay that I would expect to see after this is going to explain this position. So each paragraph is going to tell us why it is impossible to maintain discipline in large classes without corporal punishment. So this is why your position is so important, because it speaks to exactly what you're going to say in the whole essay. Here's another example. Corporal punishment must remain banned as it is an unconstitutional form of punishment that does not address underlying psychological and social issues. So this position statement takes the opposite view. It says that corporal punishment should be banned and not be allowed in schools. It gives the main reasons. It's unconstitutional and it does not address underlying psychological or social issues. The essay that I would expect to see after this is going to tell us why it's unconstitutional and why it does not address underlying psychological and social issues. The final example reads, in some cases, corporal punishment should be used as it remains a very effective deterrent to misbehavior. So this person has taken a middle-of-the-road approach. They're saying that corporal punishment should be allowed, but not uniformly, only in certain cases. And why? Because it remains an effective deterrent to misbehavior. Now, the rest of the essay, I would expect, is going to tell us which cases corporal punishment should be allowed in and why it remains a very effective deterrent to misbehavior. As you can see, these three people have argued completely different things. Now, when we mark an academic essay where we've asked you to take a position, there is no right or wrong answer. So what we are giving you the marks for is the quality of your argument, the quality of your writing, your ability to persuade the reader that your position is the correct one. There's going to be more about how to do that in the forthcoming videos.